Ashet Digital presents Me and Mine by Anime Mangan, read by Fiona Clarke. Prologue. The golden-haired bride was a symphony in cream chiffon. Floppy-hatted, soft-eyed and long-limbed, she leant in on tiptoes to kiss her husband in celebration of their 10-minute anniversary. Wide-shouldered and straight-backed, the groom adored her with his hands, circling the small of her back, cupping her elbows, and first softly blowing and then smoothing an escaped curl behind her ear. Silk on silk, her dress fused to his shirt as the cameras clicked. Friends gathered around, laughing in high notes and casting confetti. Delicious, all of them. But theirs wasn't the wedding I'd been invited to. My lot were on their way. I could feel the ground shake as they made their way through the building and headed towards the exit. The doors of the register office were shunted open by a 9 months pregnant stomach deployed as a battering ram. It was encased in a frills with frills, top with frills dress. My cousin, Ainat, a ruched blind on swollen ankles, moved like a tank to clear her space. With a hike of one of Ainat's heavily black-penciled eyebrows, the elegant pair immediately understood their instruction. Too wise, or too polite to argue, the beautiful people fluttered off, and a satisfied Ainat shouted to her guests to gather around. "Come on! It's our turn now!" Then she turned to kiss her new husband on his nose. This was flattened to the left side of his face and still blue and yellow from the recent bar brawl that had put it there. Both his hands were on his bride's backside as he steered her into position in the centre of the steps for a photo. The wedding photographer had a full set of gold teeth and a large toy rifle that he used to marshal people into position for the group photographs. "Get a move on, for Christ's sake! I need a bloody beer!" he growled, impatiently prodding stragglers into place. They obediently stood in line, men's hair smoothed, women's back combed, dentures taken out of pockets, jammed into mouths, quick licked to remove any fluff, and bared. That afternoon was the last time my mum and her family were pictured together. 6 sisters and 2 brothers. The survivors into adulthood from a family of 13. I would love to have those wedding photographs in my family album, but they no longer exist. Less than a year later, Ainat burnt them on the command of her new love, the woman who had been the monumentally bored matron of honour at her first wedding. Fueled by passion, Ainat and her Spanish amour, a spiral-haired woman with a name that sounded like a heavy smoker clearing their throat, lit a bonfire to purge their past. They constructed a pyramid of memories and then raised it, those precious extended family photos included, in the communal gardens of their council flat home. Some of the clothes they were wearing made it onto the bonfire, which sparked the following headline in the local paper. "Drunken Irishwoman flouts UK decency laws." Ainat read it with glee and was hugely disappointed when they didn't include her photograph. Ainat bare-wrestled with life, and when she saw illness ravage the women dearest to her, she became even more outrageous. "Cancer might get me young too," said Ainat, "and if I'm not living long, I may as well live wide." What started as a fling led to a commitment ceremony 2 years after, conducted by a female bus driver who had done a US-based correspondence training course to qualify as a lay minister. My mum and I were on the guest list, but the invitation stated that the wearing of fascinators was compulsory, so she refused to go, uttering one word by way of explanation: "Pagans," followed by a long, thoughtful pause by, "Go and buy a wedding card for them lesbians." She said the word with an undeniable spark of curiosity in her eyes. Those precious photographs and an entire generation. All ashes now, Chapter 1. Shoes, suitcase and...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?